Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3 of our beginner tutorial series. We're going to hop right back in and pick up where we left off. Okay, so looking back at our research, what we have is 54 hours left on Greenhouse 2. So once this is completed, we can actually begin to build our level 2 greenhouses, which are actually going to be rated for up to negative 30 degrees Celsius. So we do still have some time, which is great because we're still at positive 10. It drops, I would say, 1 or 2 degrees per day, give or take. So we still have a little while, but that's something we want to begin converting over as we have the time. Our soldiers are still up here fighting some zombies. It looks like there's a few left. Speaking of, that might have been the last one. So they've been using some ammunition and such. If we go look at our warehouse, we have 1,400 light ammo. We do have, okay, those MAC-10s use some light ammo. We should switch some of these people to MAC-10s. The ones that are using like standard pistols. So that is a MAC-10. That guy actually has like an assault rifle, some kind of, let's see what kind of ammo this uses. That uses light, that's good. That uses medium and FN foul. And then he uses a P90, which uses light. So we actually have most of our people using light. Nobody has a pistol right now, which is another good sign. I am going to boost the speed to 3 times. We have, oh, we do still need one more house. Let's build a house. Maybe my actual last save honestly didn't save. Because if I remember correctly, we had finished that 4th house before the end of the last video, which is interesting. So we're going to pull our soldiers back down. We're going to wrap up, I guess, whatever we had lost this last round. Let's check on our resource. Well, first, let's see what he needs. Abandoned fuel truck. I'm going to ignore because I bet that was going to be one of my soldiers that go. I have fuel right now. I know it's more than I currently need. We might end up needing more, but again, we'll get there when we need to. So this resource station's doing metal. My stone crusher's working. This one here is on coal, which is great. This one down here is currently on metal as well. Let's scout out a little bit down in this area. I believe there's space for another resource station. Okay, so there is another house, a car, some other things in this area that will probably, be useful. I don't think it's a ton of stuff, though. I'm trying to see what else there is nearby. Where's one of my others? Oh, he's up top. I was about to say, where in the world is he? Let's keep looking just to see if anything else is kind of in this area past these cars. As we're going to jump to 3 times speed again to try and wrap up that research on the greenhouses too. And the construction on that other house. Okay, more cars. Some more scraps and such. I see that's probably just for metal. Oh, what do we got? More people. We're going to take them. We might actually just build another one right here. What's the radius of that? Okay. So now that we have a few extra people, let's build another resource station. Like right here. That way it'll grab some of this stuff. It will grab some of that as well. We still actually have 6 people unemployed. I didn't recognize that. So we're going to throw a couple extras on the greenhouse. That other house has been completed. So we are pretty much fully staffed. Everything but that factory. But again, we don't need the factory running right now. Food will be more valuable. So we'll boost these food things. Once Greenhouse 2 completes, what we'll do, hopefully we'll have enough of a stash to where we can drop out one of these greenhouses and replace it over with another. The only other thing is, though, also since we have gone in and added more people just then, we now are still having folks that are unhoused. No place to live. So let's build a 5th house. Those last 2 people that were unemployed, they will be able to work on that construction. That should provide housing for everybody and still give us a few more to grow into. The only thing we need to pay attention to also is this shack. We are going to have to dismantle before too long because it will get down below 0. And also, let's move our soldiers up here real quick. I had forgotten about these places, so this would be a good place to do another resource station. So as we get a few more folks in here, that will probably be our next one now that we've constructed this one down here. All right. Greenhouses, everything is working. We have one person that's freezing. So we might go ahead and do heating next as well, somewhere between guns and heating. You know, I know there are some people that believe you should only focus on these certain trees. Others are useless and stuff. I mean, realistically, as long as you have the time to do it, a lot of this stuff will come in handy. You know, I get focusing on some of this stuff first makes sense, but then if you notice, you have to do construction to get down into your housing, which is needed once it goes below 0. Same for the greenhouses, right? Like you have to go science to go greenhouses, and also to go to barracks once you start needing to hire train, you know, more soldiers. So everything will become useful at some point. The only one that I don't feel a need for right now, I think, is the politics. So as the stability decreases, I do see value being there. As you see here, like even just this repressions gives plus 25 stability. And I think these two things down in here play into the stability mode as well. But again, that's later on. We still have plenty. Our biggest focus right now is the radiation and the cold. So that's what we'll do first. Let's speed it up one more time. We'll boost through this last 7 hours. All right, Greenhouse 2 is now completed. So let's go back and look at research. What do we want to do next? Oh, Kitchen 1 provides access to the construction of the kitchen. In the kitchen, cooks make porridge from raw foods. You can see the number of ready meals in the warehouse. So porridge is probably last longer, something of that nature. We're going to jump on over to heating, though, before I go into more combat training and stuff. Just because it is starting to have freezing people down here, the heating, I think, will help make that go faster. Greenhouses, though, is complete. So what I am going to do is dismantle one of these. And once it dismantles, we will replace it with a greenhouse 2, and then we'll work our way through the others. Our other resource station down here only has 2 people, but we do have some fuel we could go after. Electronics and food and wood, it looks like. Let's see what he wants. Spoke of a pile of scrap metal. I will send 2 people. I don't know where it took our 2 people from. Let's see. Sawmill, it took 1, it looks like. And maybe this other resource station is actually one of the others. So let's decrease that to 3. We'll boost this up to 2. We'll go after that fuel. Once this is disassembled, we will replace it with a greenhouse 2. I have 4 people currently unemployed. Oh, they must have been involved in the building. Well, a mix of the building and working here at the greenhouse, because keep in mind, while you're disassembling it, it only houses 2 folks instead of 4. My soldiers are keeping warm, which is good. I think... Is there another one out here somewhere? Maybe. Because I feel like there's only 4 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless they're double stacked a little bit. That's almost complete now. There it goes. Let's go ahead and build a greenhouse 2 in its place. And we'll let that construct up, and we're moving 3 times speed again while we focus on our heating and also we focus on that construction. Now, again, as I've mentioned in previous videos, one of the things about this game, it actually is pretty fun. I mean, it is the strategy, the RTS, the survival aspects, which are neat. There are certain things I do notice that you have to do in particular orders, or else, you know, it's definitely going to limit your survival ability. But outside of that, the only downside is I feel like you do spend a lot of time. It seems like it's a big hurry up and wait, right? Like you're going to hurry up and get these things built and focus on all that. And then it's a lot of waiting time. So that's the only downside, is it's not a constant, you know, I would say a constant ability to focus on your attention and stuff. There is a lot of time just spent of where, you know, okay, well, now we're constructing that. We're going to sit and wait for a little while. So that's the downside. But all that behind us, let's go kill these zombies. Here they come. There's not as many. Okay, there are more. They're just coming out of the woodwork now. When you are on the 3 times speed, it really does make your guns sound like they're like super automatic weapons. And 4 of our 5 have already leveled up to corporal, which is cool. We'll let them sit there for another minute, see if anything else comes up. That greenhouse is complete. So let's go ahead and disassemble or dismantle our next one so that we can be prepared. As you can see, we are already down to 9 degrees Celsius, 9 positive. So we will tear that one down. Let's throw people. Is any of these on food? We do still have food. I mean, fuel. Let's boost that for now since we have people unused. And then we can put them back on the greenhouses once that's completed. We returned with 25 metal. That's awesome. And there comes a couple extra people back, which is great. We didn't lose anybody. We'll boost the sawmill again, which is where one of those guys came from. So I still have 2 people unused. There goes heating 1. Next we have heating 2, or thermal insulation 1, which will increase the housing, insulation of housing again by another 10%. But I want to actually do gas masks now, as we are going to increase on some of this other stuff too. I'm thinking the gas masks helps with the radiation. I could be wrong. If you know, leave it in the comments. That would be definitely useful to know if this gas mask helps with the radiation or not. So, all that being said, let's go ahead and jump back over to another greenhouse 2. We are going to continue this hustle and build a second one here. And at the same time, once that one gets completed, because we don't want to be too far without food, once that one gets completed, we will continue to convert these others over as well. So let's move our soldiers back over here. Oh, that guy's freezing. That's fine. We'll just move them out of the woods and they can go back and warm up as needed. And then let's check on our resource stations. But first, it's warping us to check on something else. More refugees. Let's do it. Let's accept them. Our stability still has some, mainly because I want to come up here and build another resource station right here to capture some of this other stuff, honestly. So we're going to build that one there. We will need to construct another house instead of that shack. Maybe down this way. Let's just see. We don't have enough stone. So we will have to wait till the stone comes up. Once that gets done, also, we might have to build like a new stone crusher somewhere over in this area because there is additional stone down this way that we can get to. But first, we'll wait on that to complete. The construction is still happening. We're going to boost it to 3 times speed again. And the construction's also happening up here on the resource station. And now we'll wait for a few moments. All right, marauders are back again. Honestly, I don't want to give up food right now. It's starting to grow colder, so we are going to attack them. So I'm going to bring my soldiers down into here. The one thing I have noticed, I mean, we have 5 people unemployed. So they will fill up once we finish these construction things, but we have a few extras, let's put it that way. And so even though the marauders are going to come try and attack, let's bring our soldiers down and see if we can fend them off and save our food, because basically that's half of our food storage and we don't want to give that up this close to the cold season. So since I know I'm going to be fighting the marauders, I'm going to turn the production back on and put a couple people in so we can put out some more ammo. So where are they? That's the real question, if we can find the marauders. It looked like they were coming up from the bottom down here. Yes, sir. But I'm not seeing any. So let's hope they do come up from down there instead of coming from the top and wearing us out. Okay. Still nothing. This other greenhouse 2 is complete, so we are going to dismantle another. Fill up that one as well. Oh, that must have finished at the same time, and that's why I didn't have enough people for the factory. Let's actually put this on coal as well. There we go. Right here, folks. Here they come. Oh, they're right here too. Oh no, one of my soldiers is gone. Somebody's hurt. That's fine. We have a hospital. We'll leave our soldiers here. It was one of my good soldiers also. Oh, it was a pistol. And a Beretta. So what happens though for my soldier that died? Do I not get his gun back? Here's another one. Let's go take him out. Maybe it's just the 3. But next, after this, we definitely want to go with some training, because it's going to come time, honestly. I can already tell that we're going to need some additional soldiers. Ammo. We'll take it. And our station is still producing more ammo, which is great as well. The food, this is almost done. Disassembling. Did that person heal up? Oh, we've only lost the 1 dead. Okay. 2 are unemployed. That's fine. Let's build another greenhouse 2. These are going to be greatly important. And more zombies. So, talking about kicking us while we're down, right? Like, we just finished those marauders, but again, we chose to fight them. We could have given them 50 food and they would have left us alone, but we just didn't have the food to give them, honestly, and still potentially survive. So, we'll keep doing that, because as we expand, it's going to consume more and more food each time. We'll leave that on coal so that way we can keep our production and warming up on our housing. And then let's look here. Our rock is still at 20. I believe we keep using it, honestly, for these greenhouses. Let's see. Greenhouse 2. Yeah, see, it takes 20 rock every time. And we also need polymers to do our next one. So let's flip that over to polymers. So hopefully we can build enough to go ahead and convert over our 4th one. And then after that, we can focus on building another house. Here comes the remainder of those zombies. Oh, we already have a sergeant. That's awesome. That seems to be the first. Okay, gas masks are done. Let's go over here onto combat training. What is this? Light helmet design. Gas mask helmet 2. So it doesn't actually tell us like what the armor rating or anything is here. So instead of all the other stuff we are actually pretty good on, we are going to go straight to combat training now. And then after we have training and some ability to actually heal or create more soldiers, that's probably when we'll jump into armor or better weapons. Probably weapons before armor, honestly. Because if we have good weapons, we do seem to take them out at a distance. Other than marauders. Marauders shooting back are much more dangerous, currently at least. So we are down to the 4. We are moving our soldiers back into position. Our stone's back up to 23. The greenhouse is almost constructed, and then we'll begin our 4th. And pretty much be moving right along, which is pretty exciting. So boosting back to 3 times speed. All right, another cutscene. Another abandoned fuel truck. I'm going to ignore that for now. Again, I think fuel's doing all right. We don't have any more people to give to that greenhouse because I put them in the factory. Oh, we can make the gas masks now, which is interesting. Let's go look at our warehouse real quick. We have 6 gas masks. I don't know if that's just going to come into play at some point. You know, like we don't actually need them now, but once it gets worse, you will. Or else people might start dying, I'm guessing. But we have the ammo there. Let's pull a couple people out of this for now. We'll reduce this down, and we're going to put the people back here in this greenhouse. And then as we take down and dismantle this, what we'll see is we still have our extra people. So I probably shouldn't have had to rotate it out like that yet. But once this other greenhouse is done, that is when we are going to actually need another 2 people probably. Or actually 3. We're about 3 short for the time being. So we are up to 5 polymers. When we go to make our greenhouse 2, where is it at? Right here, we need 10. So we will be increasing that hopefully shortly. What's this cutscene? More refugees. Perfect. That's actually what I was just saying we needed. So I'm going to boost that back up. And then we now have 3 unemployed, which is fine, and 1 homeless. Okay, so that's where we are going to need to convert that shack into an actual house. But to do that, well, we could go ahead and dismantle it. Let's do that. Let's dismantle the house, or that shack. It will make actually 6 people homeless now, as you see. But then we will be able to build that other actual house 1. And we have enough for it. It's going to take 5 polymer and 30 stone. The only downside, if we go ahead and build this house, we won't be able to build our 4th greenhouse right now. But as we get enough resources, that'll be fine because we do have enough of like a little stash here. So let's flip this other person to polymer as well, just because we know that's going to be taking that. We do have a little bit of a, a coal stash for the time being. So that'll be fine. This says 100%. Okay, there it goes. So we went straight from 6 to 14. So it's not only producing 1 at a time, we're actually producing a large amount, which is great, because I do believe this is something we will end up needing. We have 2 people cold. That's fine. They're going in there. The homeless is, again, what we need up here. So once that is finished disassembling, we will go ahead and build the house in its place. But before that, since we have the time and the materials, let's go ahead and build this greenhouse 2, our 4th one. And now you can see here's what materials we will need to build the house, which is house 1 requires 5 polymer, which we have, but 30 stone. So we're at 18. So we need another 12 stone to be able to build this house. And then I actually think we'll be pretty squared away for the time being. Again, as I was mentioning, we need, to be able to continue to perform this research and get better weapons and more soldiers as we continue to grow. Because if we start to expand here, and if we go to the map and send our soldiers elsewhere for resources, that is, I'm sure, where people are going to die and we're going to lose those resources. So we want to be able to replace them before we start expanding into that nature. But for now, it's going well. We'll finish this out, hop into combat training 2 probably, and then we'll switch between these, the weapons, and probably get thermal insulation done as well, so it will continue to keep people warm. So going back to this research now, jump on into combat training 2. Our other greenhouse, as you can see, that is completed and that shack is gone. So we do have enough stone, I think, probably from disassembling it. Man, that's a doozy to say. Can we fit another house right here, though? The question is, where should we put it? Should we put it here, which it's not letting us most of these areas? Oh, there we go. I like that. That way all our housing is together. I mean, I could put one up in this area, but I like them being together. And if you notice, we have enough people. Like, we actually only have the 6 that are homeless. Once this is finished, that'll be done. Other than constructing while we're doing that, because once this is finished, we won't need people constructing anymore, honestly. So we can pull people. Let's see, what would we want to pull from? That one's on metal, which is fine. I'm actually going to flip this one back to coal. If you notice, our coal supplies are starting to go down, so we're going to move those over. That is probably something also I haven't mentioned a lot lately, but it is something we will end up needing, which is coal production 2, which is where you can actually make coal from wood. So we need to do this one, which is to get down into that tree, but then we will be able to actually produce more coal. As you see, that's dropping pretty rapidly as the houses are running, as the factory's running, and all of that. So once this kind of hits that next tier of our gas mass, we're probably going to shut the factory off for now to retain some of that coal until we get that ability to go. One of the residents asked to let him go in search of his family. Let's do it. We'll let him get out of here and actually send some food with him, which will help boost our stability and offset that amount that we've done. So that house is almost completed. It only has the one person building it, which is what's keeping it slow. But other than that, we're in a good place. We've actually built up all 4 of our greenhouses. We've converted those into greenhouses too. We've expanded our housing here, and we've also added another resource station and survived marauders, even though we've lost our first person. We now have 1 person dead, but we've survived some more zombies as well. We're in a much better position than we were in our first look series. So I don't know if you've watched that series. If not, I'll leave a link above and a link below. As you can see here, we're pretty much 3 episodes in, which is what happened on that first look series. And that's pretty much when we gave up because we lost so many people. We weren't in a good position. So now we are much better off. We have housing for pretty much everybody. We've actually done our research for our insulation. We have the ability almost to train more soldiers, but our factory's been up and running. We have some other stuff running. So, ultimately, I do think we are doing pretty well for it to only be still above freezing, and also a pretty low a low radiation. So one last thing, let's see what this is. It is more zombies. So what we'll do is we will actually save those zombies for next time. So we are going to go ahead and save it here. We appreciate you watching part 3 of this beginner tutorial series. If you've liked it, definitely drop a subscribe down below. That way you will be notified when the next video comes out. We will definitely be doing a part 4, and we'll see what happens beyond that. But thanks so much as always for sticking around. We greatly appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good day, guys.